This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News at 6 starts right now.
Tonight, concealed danger. Gun ownership skyrockets in Mecklenburg County. People packing heat to stay safe. But lack of trigger time could be a serious cause for concern.
Plus, could the murders of 5 people killed at the hands of a spree killer have been prevented by the court system? WBTV is on your side, investigating problems with the parole system.
But first at 6, jacking up your taxes, hijacking your city's budget.
There's a power elite in Raleigh that's in the decision-making loop, and they're making these decisions behind closed doors. And
tonight, the give and take nature of Governor Bev Perdue's proposed tax hike. Give you a tax increase and take money away from the city of Charlotte. Hello, thanks for being here. I'm Maureen O'Boyle.
I'm Paul Cameron. Welcome. WBTV has been on your side, breaking down the governor's latest and largest proposed tax increase. The governor coping with North Carolina's serious budget shortfall, and her solution is to raise everything from sales tax to sin taxes. Higher taxes mean more revenue for the state, but get this, the governor's plan somehow translates to a lot less money for the city. WBTV's Melissa Hankins on your side. She's live. Melissa, produced, talking about stripping millions of dollars away from Charlotte, and understandably, the mayor is quite upset about this.
That's right, Paul. Today, local leaders grilled state lawmakers about the budget during a tension-filled morning that left our mayor fuming. And you'll see why. We're going to show you video of that meeting. Pay special attention to Senator Dan CLODFELTER's expression when mayoral candidate and city council member John Lasseter asked him why Charlotte could face the biggest budget shortfall of any city in North Carolina.
I wonder the logic of how we end up having to take a bigger hit in an attempt to balance the state budget.
Because you use the privilege license tax in ways it wasn't intended.
City leaders were floored today by Senator Dan CLODFELTER's smug smile and his explanation of why Charlotte could be about to take a big budget hit from the state. He says Raleigh leaders don't approve of our business privilege tax, and so they might penalize us severely for it. Mayor Pat McCrory tries to get CLODFELTER to explain.
can we have more detail? Can someone from staff tell us how we're not doing the privilege? That's news to me.
Guess not. And talk about ironic. When CLODFELTER sat on Charlotte City Council, he voted that very tax into play. McCrory tried again to ask what we are doing wrong.
Well, you stated that we're using the tax not according to state law.
No, I said the way it was intended, not. I mean, the law permits you to do it.
What's really going on? State lawmakers think we should give businesses a flat tax, and currently we use a percentage rate. So Raleigh might kill the entire concept, costing Charlotte $17.5 million. In fact, the state could take away a total of $32.8 million in city revenue. And CLODFELTER's attitude on the rest of the cuts doesn't seem to bode well either.
Can you tell us some of those proposals that are being discussed? You can't tell us the proposals being discussed? It was very painful dialogue.
Mayor McCrory says he's working on clearing up any confusion over that business privilege tax, but we also stand to lose the city's share of the beer and wine tax and its refund on sales tax, among other things. In Charlotte, I'm Melissa Hankins, WBTV, on your side.
Listen, this sounds like politics. CLODFELTER is a Democrat, the governor is a Democrat, McCrory is a Republican. Is that right?
That is right. And right now, McCrory says he's doing everything he can to get their attention, though. The problem is all of the shielding of what's going on. They're not being upfront and telling McCrory and our local leaders exactly why they're threatening to take things away, Paul.
With no budget in place, the state is operating on a temporary spending measure, but that expires this Wednesday. The legislature would have to extend that stopgap measure if no deal is reached before then.
WBTV is on your side, investigating problems with the parole system. The big question tonight, did a mix-up allow Richard Burris, the Gaffney spree killer, to go free after violating parole? Burris had only been on the street a few months before his murderous spree began. After his April release, he fell off the grid, failed to make appointments with his parole officer. He was arrested in June for driving with a revoked license, but made bail and managed to slip through the cracks again. 2 weeks later, he committed his first murder. WBTV's David Wisnett has been doing some digging to see how the system works. He has that story now from Lincolnton.
Well, parole in North Carolina changed greatly in 1994, and now it is mandatory. Now, here's how it works according to the law. An offender is given a sentence. When he's come to the point where there are only 90 days left in that sentence, he's released, and that is when parole kicks in. During that time, the offender has to meet certain conditions. If the conditions are violated, the offender can be placed back in jail and held until his behavior is reviewed. In some cases, the offender is sent back to prison to finish the original sentence. Traffic violations, like the ones Patrick Burris is accused of, are considered to be probation violations. Burris' parole officer says she tried to have him held in jail to review his behavior, but by the time she contacted the jail, Burris had already bonded out. And the release of Burris has angered many in the community.
When they get sentenced, they'll make more than just a few months or a few years and come back doing the same thing. The time not long enough for them.
One expert told me that a parole officer in North Carolina is not a fortune teller and that they can't predict human behavior. At best, Burris could have been held in the jail for maybe a few more days or a few more weeks. Reporting in Lincoln County, David Wisnett, WBTV, on your side.
We've got new information tonight on a mysterious murder in Alexander County. Police in Taylorsville identify the body in a couple's van as 42-year-old Kelly Cully. Officers discovered Cully's body when they pulled over Jerry and Lisa Damron in Virginia last week. But they say Cully was actually killed at the couple's Taylorsville home. You see it here. Both have been charged with murder. Police haven't released a motive.
A mass search for a missing mother in York County called off today because of rain. 44-year-old Paula DiMarzio went for a walk in River Park Friday. She has not been seen since. This weekend, the dogs were called into tracker scent, and a helicopter searched from above with radar, but still no sign of Paula. Despite the sheriff's office calling off the search, Paula's husband and sons, they were out looking again today.
I don't know how many hours we spent already in the last 2 days here, probably 20. There's no way Paula would not call us or not be in contact with us right now.
If you know anything about the disappearance of Paula DiMarzio, call the York County Sheriff's Office. New at 6 o'clock, a developing story out of Lincoln County right now. Sheriff's Office Chief Deputy Barry Taylor just indicted on felony obstruction of justice. Taylor is suspected of allowing a drunk driving suspect to go free after he was sobered up. That suspect allegedly Taylor's girlfriend's boss. The DA will hold a press conference on the case tomorrow morning.
There you go.
More and more people are packing heat in our area, many of them new gun owners. Take a look at the latest numbers from the Mecklenburg County Sheriff. Last year, 13,000 gun permits were issued. So far this year, 17,000 people have gotten permits, and we're only in July. And the number of people carrying concealed handguns has almost doubled. 1,780 in 08, already 3,400 this year. And the problem is all those new gun owners have very few options when it comes to learning and practicing safe handling of their guns. WBTV's Sharon Smith on your side with how one local couple is working to change that.
On their first day open to the public, Elite Training Academy and indoor shooting range is packed. You could say owners Lynn,
it's ready to go. Lean into the gun and fire away.
And Mark Elmo have their eyes on a certain target. Newbie gun owners, urbanites who buy guns with no experience and have few places to practice around town.
Because it is a fear, you know, that people won't practice, won't learn that gun, you know, and you need to do that.
It's about safety and demand.
This is actually like a bullet cut in half.
The Elmos say enrollment in their concealed carry courses is up 70%, easily 150 people this year.
The gun classes are all about safe handling and gun laws. Here, they last just about 9 hours with a little bit of trigger time built into the end, making actual practice for a lot of gun owners a one-shot deal.
So the Elmos partnered with Charlotte gun shop owner Larry Hyatt to go public.
We've never seen anything like it. So we've got all these people with guns, and they need a place to shoot, a place to practice.
He says handgun sales have quadrupled thanks to politics, the economy, and crime. Take Karen Washington, who bought a gun for self-defense and took the class.
It's one thing practicing, but another thing being out and having to use it.
But most ranges are either too far away, private, or just too small to meet demand. And whether you like guns or not, people are buying and not just leaving them at home.
Please get that trigger time, learn that weapon, because the whole key is to be safe.
Sharon Smith, WBTV, on your side.
And elite training is off Highway 74. We'll put a link on WBTV.com.